I landed a $400,000 job. My father's first reaction. 50% for us. 30% for your sister. No excuses. That wasn't a request. That was a demand, delivered before I'd even had the chance to celebrate. After 5 years of scraping by, paying off every cent of my late mother's medical debt, living on canned food and sleepless nights, I finally had light at the end of the tunnel. And my family turned it into darkness again. You lived here for free for 28 years, my father snapped. We raised you, fed you, gave you a roof. Now it's time to pay us back. My pregnant sister leaned back smugly, already counting her cut. I quit my job, she said. We knew you'd help. We need a new car too. And then my uncle crossed his arms. If you don't agree, we'll sue for family abandonment. The lawyer's ready. I laughed at first. I thought it was some sick joke. But it wasn't. That night, I packed a single bag and walked away. For 5 years, every bill had already been in my name: electricity, water, food, hospital debts. I had been carrying them like a hostage while they lived like royalty. That night I decided, they weren't my family anymore. And I stopped paying ransom for my own kidnapping. The first days felt like freedom. My salary was finally mine. I bought fresh food. I joined a gym. For the first time in years, I went to dinner without checking the price column. And then came the summons. My father had filed a lawsuit against me for filial abandonment, demanding the court force me to pay them support. The audacity left me breathless. I hired a family law attorney. He listened calmly, jotting down notes. Do you have proof you've been paying all their expenses? He asked. 5 years of receipts, statements, bills in my name, yes. And your mother's financial documents? If your father hid assets, we can countersue. That night, I opened dusty boxes of hospital records and insurance letters. That's when I found it, a letter from my grandmother. My dearest daughter, with this trust fund I want to secure your future and that of my grandson. Trust fund. I called the law firm that had managed her estate. The retired partner remembered instantly. Yes, $250,000 for medical expenses. Your father was trustee. But he dissolved it 3 days after your mother's funeral. Said it wasn't needed anymore. The phone nearly slipped from my hand. While I was drowning in debt, killing myself to keep up with payments, my father had hidden $250,000. He let me bleed for nothing. I sent every document to my lawyer. 2 days later, his voice had changed, steady, but sharp with excitement. This isn't just abandonment, he said. This is fraud. Embezzlement of trust funds. Your father is in serious trouble. Just when I thought my father's betrayal was the lowest point, my sister went even further. She called my workplace, pretending to be a concerned former employee, and accused me of stealing intellectual property from the family business. Projects I had created in my free time years ago, suddenly twisted into their weapon. Monday morning, my boss summoned me. We received an anonymous tip, he said, his voice sharp. It claims you designed company projects for your family's business and are now passing them off here. We need answers. My stomach dropped. I knew exactly who it was. But how could I prove it? My sister had even cited real projects, the ones I'd once shared on my old Behance and LinkedIn portfolios. Clever sabotage. For 2 weeks, HR dissected my entire career. Every file, every client, every contract. I barely slept. What if my family had registered a company retroactively? Forged paperwork. My entire livelihood dangled by a thread because of them. Then came the call that changed everything. The HR director's face was serious as she spoke. We confronted the person behind the complaint. When asked for employment contracts, she hung up. She even called back pretending to be a different witness, same phone number. Relief hit me like a tidal wave. Not only had I survived, but my sister had exposed herself as an amateur liar. The director smiled. We also verified your projects. The copyrights are in your name, predating any so-called family company. Case closed. But that investigation sparked something in me. I dug deeper into my father's finances, and what I found chilled me. Public records showed he had mortgaged the family home, the one my late mother bought with her inheritance, for $100,000. He'd taken out a high-interest express loan just 15 months ago. And now, he was in default. Suddenly, it all made sense. The demand for 80% of my salary wasn't just greed. It was desperation. His failing business was hemorrhaging, and he needed me to bail him out. That night, beer in hand, sitting in my quiet apartment, I made a decision. I wasn't going to lift a finger. Not this time. When the phone rang, his broken voice cracked through the speaker. "It's about the house, your mother's house. They're going to take it." I hung up. Let it burn. Let him choke on the lies and manipulations he'd built. Justice sometimes arrives on its own. Other times, you have to give it a little push. And my lawyer delivered the push. The countersuit for fraud and embezzlement of the trust fund hit my father like an anvil. Asset freeze requested. Restraining order filed. This isn't just a family dispute, my lawyer told me. It's a federal crime. 2 days later, I got confirmation. Restraining order approved. My father and sister couldn't contact me anymore. Every desperate call, every message now became evidence against them. And then the universe twisted the knife in the sweetest way. My boss called me in, smiling. "We reviewed your portfolio again. Funny enough, the projects your sister accused you of stealing are the very reason we hired you. We're giving you a raise." As my family crumbled, my career soared. Cold, poetic justice. Just when I thought my family had finally burned out, they went feral. It started on a Monday morning. I was headed to the parking garage for a crucial meeting with a multi-million-dollar client when I saw it. "Ungrateful," spray-painted in red across the hood of my car. "Rot in hell," scrawled across the side windows. The front tire slashed clean. No cameras. No witnesses. But I knew exactly who had done it. I was 2 hours late to the most important meeting of the quarter. My client's voice was cold. "We understand emergencies happen. But this makes us question your professionalism." I salvaged the contract by a thread. But the message from my family was clear. This was war. Their collapse sped up like a train wreck in slow motion. They lost their biggest client, 15 years of business, because my father botched a project, costing $30,000 in penalties. They launched a pathetic GoFundMe, help with urgent family medical expenses. The sob story painted me as the monster who abandoned his sick family. It raised $17 in 2 weeks. Even strangers commented, "Why isn't the son helping? Something doesn't add up." My sister broke the restraining order, screaming in my office parking lot, "You're a monster. Dad is sick. Mom's house will be lost because of you." I recorded every second, handed it to the police. The officer warned her, "Next time, automatic arrest." As their finances crumbled, their desperation turned vicious. I watched public records like a hawk. One by one, the machines in my father's shop disappeared. The $8,000 laser cutter. The industrial welder. Sold for scraps. Then they came for my personal life. One Wednesday night, my phone exploded. Anna, my girlfriend of 6 months, was screaming. "Who the hell is that woman?" Confused, I asked what she meant. She sent me photos. My apartment. My shirt from last week. My face kissing a blonde I'd never seen before in my life. The edits were flawless. If I didn't know better, I would have believed them. "Anna, those are fake. Someone is trying to sabotage us." "Yeah, right." Classic cheater excuse. She hung up. Blocked me. By morning, the relationship was over. 6 months destroyed by AI fakery and my sister's spite. That was the contrast. While I stayed calm and let their financial ruin play out, they attacked me where it hurt most, my happiness. My father tried one last card. Calling from a neighbor's phone, his voice cracked between rage and pleading. This is all your fault. Your mother would be ashamed of you. I didn't answer. Silence was enough. Even my neutral uncle tried to mediate. Family is the most important thing, he said. I asked him calmly. Did he tell you he demanded 80% of my salary? Or that he stole the trust fund my grandmother left for my mother's treatment? Silence. Then. I didn't know. Now you do. He never called again. The first foreclosure notice arrived in November. The auction date was set, January 15th. My lawyer sent me the notification with a short note, it's official. That same day, I founded Legacy Restored LLC. The name wasn't just business. It was personal. My mother's legacy had been corrupted by my father's greed. Now it was time to take it back. 5 years of sacrifice. 5 years of silence. And now, in the rain, justice finally had my face. I had scraped by on the bare minimum, then built myself up, a raise, a loan, and $200,000 transferred into Legacy Restored LLC. The irony was exquisite. The very money my father and sister had prevented me from saving was now fueling the plan to take back what had always been my mother's. The auction was in sight. Their collapse, however, was already visible to everyone. Their cars disappeared one morning, repossessed. A nosy neighbor posted photos. Anyone know why the Ramirez family's cars got towed? The comments were merciless. My sister tried one last act of manipulation. Pregnant, crying, she showed up at my building at 11 p.m. The doorman called. There's a woman here claiming to be your sister. I don't have a sister, I replied. I watched her from the window, walking away in the rain. For a moment, pity flickered. Then I remembered the fake photos that had destroyed my relationship with Anna. The pity died instantly. She posted some tired victim-blaming captions online, using old pictures of me with my mother. 3 likes. 0 comments. Even her friends had abandoned her. The night before the auction, I didn't review numbers. Instead, I sat with a photo of my mother, whispering. Tomorrow, we're getting your house back. And this time, it will belong to someone worthy of you. The phone rang. My father, calling from a blocked number. His voice was shaking. Please, it's all we have left. The house where your mother was happy. She was happy there, I replied evenly. Until you turned it into a financial grave. What do you want? Money? An apology? Nothing. You have nothing I want. That night, I slept like a man reborn. Auction day. Rain poured over the courthouse steps. From a block away, I watched my father and sister standing outside, drenched, faces twisted as if they were already at a funeral. Inside, the auction lasted just 12 minutes. Competing bids rose, but when Legacy Restored LLC offered $215,000, the room fell silent. Gavel down. House mine. I didn't smile. Didn't cheer. Just one word to my lawyer on the phone. Proceed. 5 years of medical debt. 5 years of being forced to carry them on my back. Reduced to one word. 3 days later, they received the eviction notice. My phone exploded with hysterical calls. I ignored them until finally answering one. How could you? It's Mom's house, my sister screamed. You sued me. Lied about me. Ruined my relationship. This is your problem now, I said calmly. Figure it out yourself. Click. Silence. Eviction day. The sky was gray, rain unrelenting. Deputies supervised as a decrepit moving truck pulled up. My ex-family hauled their belongings into the mud while neighbors gathered like it was a public spectacle. Umbrellas, coffee mugs, whispers. I arrived in my black sedan, tailored suit immaculate under the storm. When I stepped out, the crowd rippled. My father's eyes locked on me, wide with disbelief and rage. You, he shouted. You came to gloat. My sister stumbled forward, soaked, clutching her pregnant belly, her face twisted with desperation. And I stood there, calm, unshakable. The house was mine. Justice was mine. Look what you've done to us. We've lost everything because of you. My sister's voice cracked as she clutched her belly under the rain. The murmurs from the neighborhood swelled, some eyes full of pity, others of judgment. They didn't know the full story. I simply raised my hand, stopping her without a touch. Silence hit harder than any scream. The deputies shifted uneasily. My father collapsed to his knees in the mud, grabbing at my pant leg like a beggar. Please, we're family. Your mother wouldn't have wanted this. The whole block held its breath. This was the stage. My voice was steady, cold, and loud enough for all to hear. You lost everything the day you decided I was nothing but a bank account. I walked toward the door. My father stumbled after me, frantic. Where are you going? Home. I slid the new key into the lock. The metallic click echoed across the soaked street like a gunshot. Then I turned to face the entire crowd. I am Legacy Restored LLC. When they demanded 80% of my salary, I chose instead to take back what they stole from my mother. Gasps. Whispers. My sister tried to protest, but I cut her off. You want to talk about injustice? Let's talk about the $250,000 trust fund your father embezzled, money meant for my mother's treatment while she was dying. The neighborhood erupted in disbelief. Her in-laws looked horrified, her husband covered his face in shame. Old Mr. Delgado, who had known my mother for decades, stepped forward trembling. Is that true, son? Every word. When I threw the envelope at my father's feet, the rain soaked it instantly. Inside was proof, debts I had paid, documents of the fraud, and the receipt for the Isabel Rivera Oncology Scholarship, $50,000 donated in my mother's honor. The crowd turned against them in real time. Their allies drove away without a word. Her in-laws left in silence. My father's reputation disintegrated like wet paper in the gutter. Months later. The mechanic shop shuttered. They drifted into poverty, avoided even by their own relatives. I remodeled the house, not for myself, but for a young couple with a baby. Fair rent, stable home. A new family thrived where mine had collapsed. One spring morning, a postcard arrived, a picture of their baby taking his first steps in the living room. Thank you for building our home. The last time I saw my father and sister was in a cheap supermarket aisle. They looked gray, hollow. They turned away before our eyes could meet. I felt nothing. Not hate. Not anger. Just indifference. Now, from my apartment overlooking the city skyline, I finally breathe. Revenge didn't give me fireworks, it gave me something rarer. Peace. I honored my mother, burned the rot, and built something better in its place. Was it worth it? Every damn penny.